I see you, peekaboo, I see you, looking at me, looking at you. Hold up, where you going? What you doing? Who you seeing? What you need? What you want? I said, without you by my side, my side, my side. Without you by my side. One time from side to side. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. One time from side to side. walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for me. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Wait, I don't have the player awards. All right, everybody, welcome to the Eternal Finals. We have got Optimal Esports Dynasty going up against Paper Boat Gang in what is bound to be a banger of a matchup. I don't know too much about this league. I'm gonna leave that over to Shong. But before we get started, we do have a couple of announcements. First off, we have a banger of an announcement. Don't know if we have a graphic set up for it yet, and we want to swap to it. But there will be a Battle of Titan and Aegis coming up soon on September 8th, where the winners of each of our respective leagues from both tournaments and both organizations will be going up against each other. So like you see here, we've got Immortal versus a Marauder League, both of them being the 600 LP cap. The champions from both those two leagues will go head to head to essentially be the champion of all champions of amateur esports. It's bound to be a blast. As you can see, it's going to be starting on September 7th, September 8th, where it will probably be streamed either on one or, if not, both of our broadcasts. Stay tuned for that. We also have the player awards winners, I believe, for this Eternal League. I don't personally have a graphic for that though, but as you can see on screen here, these are the people who won just about everything. And first all-pro team and second all-pro team. So huge congratulations to all these players. Chung, I don't know if you know any of these players. Do you have any are these have you played against some of these people?
I played against all of these players. Trups is actually playing on our finals tonight, first team all-pro top laner there with the Rumble skin. But you know, if I wasn't allowed to vote for myself, I would have voted for Venoms for MVP of the split. This dude was popping off on ADC. I mean, on support. Also, first team All-Pro with his ADC and Hamza. That bot lane is terrifying to play against. I expected them to be in finals, but OED pushed them out and got here. But I see that people loved me and voted me for MVP for runner-up. I did not expect to get that many votes, so thank you to everybody. But, you know, a lot of these teams, a lot of these players that are up here, they all make sense. And, you know, a lot of them are playing in the finals tonight, for most of them being from the side of OED.
For sure. But all right, as we get ready to head on into the draft, talk to me a little bit more, Chong, about these two teams. Like I said, I'm kind of new to this league. I'm here giving you guys the play-by-play for tonight. What you've played against these teams? What do they like? Where could we be expecting coming out of draft?
So OED is definitely an interesting case. Their jungler, Curvo, he plays a lot of Urgot jungle and Skarner, even though with Skarner getting a lot of nerfs, he still plays it quite well and quite often. So I expect him to be leaning towards either one of them, as a lot of teams tend to ban the Urgot just because it is a weird pick to go against in the jungle. You don't expect what it's going to do, how it's going to gank. But, you know, Maze, the AD carry for OED, has been playing a lot of Seraphine, so high prio on that for them. They banned the Zeri away from him here. That's his, like, most played AD carry besides it. For the side of Paperboat, this was the team that knocked me out of playoffs in the first round. This team was popping off on all cylinders. Their jungler, Little Juice Pack, LJP, GOAT at League of Legends, GOAT at TFT. This man can do it on the Rift, on the little TFT battlefield. He's got it all. So I'm really curious to see if he's going to get like his signature Viego pick here tonight, or if they're going to put him on something more utility and facilitate the team with the carries that they have in Pen and Induced.
For sure. All right. Well, as we get started here, the Seraphine's going to be locked on in for B1 from the side of OED. Strong pick could be thrown over to the mid lane, could also be going to that bot lane. Ashe is not banned away, so the Ashe Seraphine bot side combo is pretty devastating to have to go up against if they decide to go some sort of route like that. And then we got Zach locked in for PBG. Great engaged jungler. Got to be careful though. Poppy is still on the table for the side of OED. If they want to go that route for their jungle, could be a hard counter pickup potentially. But we got Varus locked into the bot side for PBG. Well, I say that. Also could be top side. I've seen Varus top before. I've seen Varus mated with AP before. Now Skarner, have not seen in a long time. Don't know yet if this is going to be top or jungle. Haven't seen realistically Skarner top since the nerfs. No one's realistically played it. So the Renekton pickup will be locking that straight on into the jungle. Very interesting going up against this Zach. I think he can work very phenomenally well if Zach goes for an engage. And the Skarner can counteract with just a straight up impale and deny the combos from being able to come on out. And a Mumu rounding out what I believe... Okay, so that could be a Mumu support. It could be a Mumu jungle. And it could be Zach top. Either way, they're going to go ahead and ban out the Poppy now. OED not taking that champion, so they're going to go ahead and get that off the board. And that's going to allow for PBG to draft even more engage champions here. If we want to go for something like Rakan as a support, or even sort of a dash heavy champion like we've been seeing Yasuo in the mid lane lately.
Yeah, so OED's first 3 picks, this is exactly the style they want to play. This is going to be Maze on the Seraphine. 9 times out of 10 when they lock it in, it's going to him. Kuro got his Skarner, drops on a hard carry, win lane, win game kind of champion right there with the Renekton. Renekton's super strong blind, favorable matchup into and into the Ornn, I mean. And then on the side of Paperboat, getting that recently buffed Varus, like this champion is actually giga strong right now with the buffs that came out last patch. This champion is a menace to play against right now. And Leona, you know, they're 4 Mogs. You nerf for damage. The damage isn't the issue with Leona. It's the insane amount of tankiness and CC this champion has and provides. He is just unkillable, and that's the Rutledge pick. Rutledge loves long-range artillery champions, Ziggs, Xerath, Vel'Koz, which is probably his most known champion right now. This is a quintessential OED draft, and this is the type of stuff that Paperboat likes to play. A lot of different angles to play on, a lot of different engage options, and disruption in team fights. So both teams really getting what they want here. It's definitely going to be interesting to see which one gets to play their style more and takes the win in this game.
All right. So far, looking at these compositions, I gotta say I'm leaning a little bit more towards the side of PPG. I just like the full-on brawl, get into your face, and absolutely make you explode composition that they have so far. Amumu engaged, Yon coming in with the flanks, maybe getting that fate sealed off, coming in the back line. Ornn, another very strong solid tank option, as well as Zach can go either that full AP or that full tank / AP hybrid play style that we know and love coming out of the champion. Gonna be hard to play into this Leona though, so gotta be careful with those engages, especially engaging into Seraphine Leona. So, but OED, very strong poke composition with this Vel'Koz Seraphine rounding out sort of kind of like the back line, while Skarner and Renekton and Leona are going to kind of be initiating most of that engage. And they have somewhat sort of a counter dive composition with that Skarner and Leona coming down. So it's going to be difficult for PBG to sort of hit that all in, press R champ button, engage against the side of OED, but I am confident that they will find those angles to pull it off. It's going to be really difficult to get to this backline of Vel'Koz and Seraphine, though, but an early level 1 straight onto the Seraphine is one way to get it started.
Yeah, just zero spec there out of Maze. You know, they have Amumu could start Q, they have a Zac, they just have a lot of early game CC. He should have 100% just warded that tri-bush and backed up and not even do anything. It was smart by him to not flash, knowing he was already dead. No reason to waste that summoner. The only sad part about that for Paperboat is the kill did go on to the Zac with the Aftershock proc. But, you know, hey, first blood is first blood, and it's going to be good for the team all around.
That bad, actually, because it's a Zac support. It's almost like when you get first blood on Poppy support. It's a champion that can essentially still kind of carry, so you're not realistically that upset about it, because at the end of the day, it's going to be a bruiser. It's going to do a ton of damage in the team fights. So it's not that huge of a deal. Yes, you want to get that kill over to your Varus. You want to get them online scaling 10 times quicker and absolutely be a lane bully, be dominating. But Zac can still be a lane bully, especially in these early phases where Leona doesn't have that much CC online just yet. That Q's not going to be on such sort of cooldown, doesn't have the solar flare, so Zac can still get in there and be somewhat of a bully with this Varus. And I'm going to be expecting to see off that first blood, them try and push that sort of advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does help that Zac gets a little bit of extra tankiness off of this, but if Varus gets that first blood, just the amount of pure pressure that he can put out just with the kit he has, early damage with the poke off the WQ or WE, really helps into Seraphine, especially because light stacks and E reduce healing, so it's very hard for this bot lane to try to sustain off of a lot of damage that's put out by the Varus Zac lane. But, you know, we see traditional clears coming out here. We have Skarner going for a full clear, Amumu also going for a full clear, which is a little surprising considering how gank-oriented both of these jungles are. And you have a winning topside matchup, and pathing away from it is definitely a choice by OED, but I guess after Seraphine getting first blooded, you kind of want to go down there and possibly relieve any pressure that could be had. But I think if you just get this Renekton ahead into Ornn, like, there's nothing that Ornn's going to do for the first 6 levels of the game against the Renekton unless he gets, like, a cheeky trade under a turret. But Renekton is such a dominant lane bully right now, like, we see him being blind picked in pro play for this exact reason. So pathing away is something I wasn't expecting to see, so I'm hoping OED makes it work out by early stacking dragons instead of prioritizing grubs this game.
I don't disagree. I think that leaving the Renekton alone could be a little bit of a detriment. Well, I would be wanting to try and get it online early. Why? Because the backline that you're essentially diving for is just really just Varus, because the rest of the team on the side of PBG are going to be straight up engaging. Speaking of which, the Leona coming on up, looking to get the stun off, finds it onto the Yone in combination with the Vel'Koz. The Ignite will be enough to be able to take away onto the enemy Yone. Maybe not. Skarner comes in with a little bit of gank, suppressing the Amumu against the wall, but is not going to be able to find the kill off either. And Zac comes up just to be able to be there in case some cleanup was needed. But that's going to force Amumu out already with first dragon on the board here very shortly. It could be a little detrimental to these neutral objectives that are about to come online, with Amumu going to have to reset the clear speed. Now they're going to be aware of where he's going to be pathing to and can look to make a trade-off.
Yeah, that is such a good play out of OED there. They burn one summoner spell, it being an Ignite and getting both Yone and Amumu's flash. That greatly reduces the Amumu gank pressure, especially once he hits level 6. That flash ultimate play will not be up for him. He's just going to have to path away for dragons here, maybe do something top lane with the Ornn, alleviate pressure in that lane, early stack the grubs. But he was there for the counter gank. It could have worked out if Skarner just wasn't taking that bottom side scuttle crab and, you know, the early Leona roam up. Relics was behind the play, so an easy 3v2. Induced and Little Juice Pack are lucky to be still breathing after that one. And the pressure from OED seems like it could be keeping up if they choose to do so with no flashes down. I'm curious to see how they will play off of those flash timers.
For sure. All right. Well, first objectives both going to be up. Amumu coming back into the mid side. Flashes online for the Vel'Koz, and Skunner's waiting just around the corner. Gonna come over the wall and land straight into those chickens. Now has spotted out the little Amumu running amok in the jungle. Will be forced on out and away. The bot lane was coming up for a little bit of a time there, thinking that they were gonna go ahead and find an engage, find a start time on this dragon. But instead of Mumu moving towards this top side, going to be a little bit difficult to grab these Void Grubs because you don't have that top side prio. Renekton will be easily able to roam straight on down before the Ornn will be. I would have loved to see them maybe kind of try and prio the dragon while they possibly could have, but now that one's going to be started straight on up. Leona is doing a little bit of zoning right now and scouting, trying to see if the Amumu is returning to this bot side. I think Zach is coming straight on down. We'll spot out that the dragon has been started. Actually, don't think he did. Slingshotting straight into the mid lane. The Vel'Koz is going to be forced to flash away. The root's going to be able to come down, but nothing much realistically comes of that either. Now the dragon, they know it has been killed off, and the Void Grubs have been started subsequently on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, there was a chance that Amumu could have looked for that gank top lane off Renekton coming off of reset, but he's already on to that Vampiric Scepter. He is very strong, like, surprisingly strong right now. He has ultimate. The amount of healing that this champion just has once he pops that Dominus and then hits the Q, it is crazy how much this champion can heal, even with reduced healing from the Bramble Vest. So I do like the play not going for a gank because you have no damage between Amumu and Ornn at this point in the game. So just trading both neutral objectives is going to be good because now that kind of forces OED to respond to a second spawn of grubs, which means Paperboat could take. We see a gank here.
Sauce lands. Fake Seal comes out as well as the Amumu ulti just to be able to seal the deal. And the Yone is able to pick up the first kill in the mid lane off of a great gank timer there from Amumu. Putting that Yone ahead is going to start getting that damage. Early game scaling starting to ramp on up. Once it gets that Bork online, expect to see that the roam timers start to initiate, move towards the top side, try and help annihilate this Renekton, move towards the bot side, try and help set up an even further lead where and if at all possible. So getting a kill there onto your Amumu and setting behind the scaling of the Vel'Koz is going to be great for your damage at a PPG.
Yeah, that gank was actually all set up, not by Amumu, not by Yone, but actually by the roam from Relics on this Zac, burning the flash from Vel'Koz while his teammates were taking the dragon, which just made it set up so easily for Induce to force Rutledge up to the top side of the lane to let Amumu hit that bandage toss, and then perfect CC layering out of them to be able to pick up that kill and going on to the right person. It was just really good job playing off that flash timer, because if Vel'Koz has no flash, he really has no way to get away from any single gank in the world, especially with Amumu Yone's CC combos that they can pull off.
Yeah, no dash champion. Still one of the most immobile mages out there, just like the Xerath. Not realistically up to date with current League of Legends. As another slingshot's coming on in, pulls him back around. Can he land this bandage toss? No, that one's gonna end up going wide, but the knockups might be nearly enough to be able to get that CC toss. And little Juice Pack comes in with a bandage toss at the end to clean it on up. Maybe yoinking that one away from the Yone and be like, hey, you got the last one, I'm gonna get this one. And now we're gonna start seeing hopefully that damage out of PPG start to come online. I would love to see a 3-man gank towards the top side on this Renekton sometime soon, with the Yone coming up to assist Amumu to shut down this Renekton, because if you can really shut him down, and because Renekton is more than okay. Meanwhile, bot side, we have a straight up kill into the Seraphine, maybe even a double kill, who knows. Ignite ticking away onto the Varus, gotta be a little bit careful though. But if you could shut down this Renekton, because Renekton is fine with this lane going even, then your win con is going to start to solidify, because it's really, really hard to get onto this Varus, and that's what Renekton's going to need to do.
Yeah, this is the paper boat that I had to play against. They are firing on all cylinders right now. The way they're just getting 2v2 kills bot, making the 3-man roam plays mid. Maybe a little Juice Pack shouldn't have taken that kill mid, but hey, he wanted the assist, so he'll take a kill this time. But Yeah, the only thing they do have to worry about is the lead that Renekton is building up in the top lane. But, you know, Ornn will eventually just outscale this Renekton, and Renekton won't be able to do much come late game with his mid game power spike being it is, and we're looking at another mid play here.
This is absolutely absurd. Getting bullied left, right, and center. Fatio comes in with the flash bandage toss too, just to be able to solidify the deal. It's 3 ganks in a row with 3 different players getting the kill here in the mid lane onto this Vel'Koz. No flash means you're gonna die as many times as we physically can make you. Neutral objective's gonna be spawning up once again though. Are we gonna prio these Void Grubs? We've already got 3 into the bag. Let's go for a full on 6. And I don't see with Skarner pushing out this mid lane and Ornn having topside prio, I don't see any contestation happening here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving this play out of Paper Boat. They said, go ahead, Rutledge, pick your immobile, long-range artillery champions. We will punish it with just constant plays mid lane. I mean, he's going to be in hell until that flash timer comes back up. And then they're probably just going to make another 3-man gang play, instantly burn that again, and just rinse and repeat, make sure this Vel'Koz has no impact on this game. Because that's really the one thing Paperboat is scared of, is the amount of poke damage that they can take before they get their engage off. And if you put this Vel'Koz so far behind that the poke damage doesn't matter, I don't see how OED's comp is going to get over the finish line in this first game.
I don't disagree. I mean, when you've got Yone and when you have Yone and the Zac just flinging themselves on in to such a kind of squishy backcourt of Vel'Koz Seraphine. Vel'Koz being very immobile, it gets engaged upon even with or without the flash. It's going to be really difficult to get away from these two kinds of champions. So the peel is going to have to be completely there for OED. So we have TP coming down. Will it be the Ornn fight? No, it's Yone coming straight on in. Ornn not deciding to join the fight just yet. Baitseal's going to be online looking for this engage. Right now, Relix is looking at some sort of engage angle, going for a little bit of a flank timer. Places the ward down, spotted up the Skarner, trying to clear away that ward. And so far, the positioning, I've got to hand it so far to PBG. Somebody's got to mark this Zac and keep him from engaging. Amumu is looking to land that Curse of the Sad money off of a bandage toss, as even the Renekton has joined the party so far. Ornn is coming on in, has a little bit of a flank. Will we see the Call of the Force Guard come out? Going forward is Yone, is going to get rooted on up in. Amumu trying to land a 4-man Curse of the Sad Mummy into the backside, while Vel'Koz is just poking down Zac, forces out the cellular division. The Dominus is going to end up being procced out of the Crocodile, trying to do as much damage as physically possible. The Zac has fallen. The front line is gone for the side of PBG, and the Dragon will be picked up for OED.
Yeah, I mean, Paperboat could have done something. Oh wait, we still see a play happening here. Okay, nothing comes out of this one. It's just a win for OED. I mean, that was a little scuffed engage out of Paperboat because neither Varus or Yone were hitting anybody that entire team fight. So your front line is just taking the beats, going down, and you just have no return damage, which just makes the engage not worth it anymore. It was a beautiful engage out of a little juice pack, getting in that 3-man Curse of the Sad Mummy with no health, picking up 1 kill. But if your Varus isn't hitting anybody in that team fight, it's just really hard to win it. Even if, like, the Vel'Koz was so far behind, he even picked up a kill on that fight. So he's getting back up online. He does have his Blackfire torch. So he's starting to cruise along. But I think if Paperboat was hitting full cylinder there, they just clean up that team fight, get the dragon. So I'm hoping they don't, weigh on that too much and bounce back for the next fight.
Yeah, and huge props to Maze there. This Amumu walking forward is just basically a walking traffic cone saying, hey, I'm looking to bandage toss in. I'm looking to land an ultimate. And Maze just goes, nah, I'm not going to let you do that. And lands the encore onto this Amumu. It gets charmed in between 4 members of OED. So they were just able to burst down the Amumu before the ultimate came out. And by the time it came out, he was already a quarter of HP. So just gets bursted to death after the stun ends up falling, and then at that point you are in a 4v5. And on the backside, we talked about the Vel'Koz might be still far behind, but was able to mark the Zac out of relics and just denied that slingshot engage, procced the passive, and then got the kill on afterwards. So huge plays coming up from OED, recognizing how they need to win these team fights and shutting down these engaged champions.
Yeah, I think this is also where we see like a slight flaw in the Paperboat draft. Just because they have no pure AP damage, Amumu is forced to build a Leandry's Torrent first item, which makes him have so much less survivability once he goes into that backline. He is just a walking pinata of gold if like they land a CC combo on him like that again. He was lucky to get the ultimate off in that fight, but if he doesn't get any tankiness up and he's just like gonna build full AP glass cannon, I don't think he will. It's just looking really rough for them to like get perfect engages like they want to. I think they will clean it up. He'll have to build, tanky after this to actually be a champion in the game. But it's just if they had an AP unit, Mumu could just be tankier and possibly turn that fight just based off living longer.
For sure. Yeah, maybe the Mumu can stay alive just a tad bit longer, eat a little bit more of that brunt force damage. Maybe we see something different happening there, but and another double-edged sword with this Amumu is just the fact that with this heavy poke composition that OED has with the Vel'Koz and the Seraphine, it's okay. You go look for this Curse of the Sad Mummy. You look for that sort of multi-stun engage to set up team fight wins, but they could just be so spread out because of their long-range poke. It's going to be difficult. You're going to get chunked to half HP before you can even find that sort of engage with the ultimate. Meanwhile, Juicepack lands a 2-man here with Yon sticking around. It gets impaled by the Skarner. His mid laner has just left him to die, but he goes out with 1 at minimum. I don't like burning the flash here because you are dead. Realistically, there's no real living here. But I mean, at least he goes 1 for 1.
I mean, I'm surprised he even went 1 for 1 there with how that play started to look out. But I did want to highlight before that play even broke out, it was a really good play for Juicepack to be able to turn that at all into a 1 for 1 trade. I do like the first item that QWER picked up here. Or sorry, QERW picked up here. He went first item Abyssal Mask. That is such a smart purchase when you have double AP carries, because teams want to build that magic resist into you, but you're basically just essentially shredding it because you are Leona. You're just going to be on everybody all the time, just reducing the magic resist to let your carries actually put out more damage. It's a very smart decision by him to go that first item.
Yeah, not bad when you got Zach and Mumu on the opposite side, so it's a really good, smart pickup. Gonna probably look to build into the Locket here next, just for a little bit of extra magic resist as well as armor, because the Yone is still a problem. Has that Bork online, looking to potentially build towards that IE now, or Bloodthirster, so get a little bit more survivability, a little bit more tanky. But we got a next Dragon coming up here in less than a minute. And so far, PBG are starting to move in and try and take this Riverside positioning. Yon has been swapped into the bot side while the bot lane has come up to the mid lane. A little bit early, but when you want to go for these objectives and you want to have this prio, it makes total sense here. The Rift Herald was dropped in the bot side too throughout all that, and so Yon's just going to say thank you for giving me a little bit extra experience taking that one down. Was unfortunately not able to find the tower, but the Dragon has already been started on up. It's going to be PBG with the engage timer called. The Forge God Solar Flare is going to be able to find the Varus, but it's just going to be slowing them on up. It's a 2-man encore. The Vel'Koz coming in behind. Curse of the Sad Money is going to be able to find 3. The Dominance is procced. Is he going to be able to save the Crocodile? No. Induce is able to clean up the kill. And that will be the Ornn helping to go 1 for 1 against the Skarner. Has to flash it over the wall. The Leona trying to help run down these kills, trying to help make sure they can't escape, but they find the kill anyway. Varus and Yon putting in the damage. The dealers for PBG coming online in this fight.
Yeah, this is the exact fight that Paperboat wants, where their damage dealers are actually dealing damage. The way they just split up that fight and Deuce getting to come in on the backside for free, even though he solo ulted the Seraphine and didn't even hit her because she flashed, it basically won them the fight because she was just cut off from her team. She couldn't utilize any of the support kit that she has. No healing, no shielding coming out to support OED as they look for more extended team fights. And Induced and Pen just went to town ripping apart the tanks that are on OED.
Yeah, that was a fight win and a half needed for PBG. Varus cleaning up a triple kill. Yon I believe able to find 1 or 2 in that fight as well. And now these AD damage dealers are starting to be a menacing threat for OED. Starting to get a little bit scared, especially when you have that squishy backline with this poke composition. At some point, Yon's just going to be able to proc the Unbound Soul and just dive your backline halfway across the map with a Fate Sealed and potentially one-shot this Vel'Koz. And that's something you've got to be afraid of here very shortly going into this next set of fights. Varus is going to be close to completing the second item here soon, as I believe is looking to build into the Ginzo's second on the Varus after building out that Bork. And then I think that Yon's going Kraken Slayer now, as we have a topside gank off happening, shutdown onto the Yon off the back of the Solar Flare, and they're going to push this into a topside tier 1. A little bit of a wraparound is happening. Slingshot engaged. Call the Force God coming straight on down. Is able to knock up 3. And the Chains of Corruption hit the Vel'Koz. Can he clean it up? Yes. Raelix is able to find that one, but it goes 1-4-1. Encore straight onto the Ornn. He's a tank, so he's not realistically too scared. His little juice back is tossing in the bandage. Tosses as much as he possibly can. Channeling up the pointed arrow, is able to basically find Maze onto the Seraphine halfway across the map. Leona Zenith blades in and tries to at least do as much as possible to peel so Skarner can get away. But this could be a straight up spawn Baron angle.
Yeah, Penn played that fight beautifully. That was some great spacing by him. Even though he got hit by the Skarner roll, it meant nothing because nobody was close enough to threaten him after that. His tanks were doing so much work peeling for him. Paperboat is popping off in this first game, playing exactly their style and telling OED, we don't care that you guys are the higher ranked team. We don't care that you guys are in the playoffs of what is considered the better Emerald League. We are going to win this league. We are going to force you to play our style. And it is working out in this first game so far.
Yeah, they are absolutely impressing me, I have to say, for the least. I'm already excited with their first draft. Can't wait until we get into game number 2 to see what else they have cooking up and in store. But so far, right now, things are starting to get a little bit quiet on the Rift. I can't realistically see what the gold lead is right now, but with the Baron buff, I'm assuming it's sitting around 7k at the moment for PBG. So with Baron buff, they're going to be looking to continue to push that one into that 10k and start to wallet gap the side of OED. The Immortal Shield Bow has been completed, and the Ornn upgrading items are coming online too. Juice Pack is able to run straight into the Crocodile, lands the second bandage toss, and there's the Zac coming on in. He's had a wonderful performance here tonight and is looking to continue to press that advantage. Right now, it's OED trying to defend this top side tier 1, the last one remaining on the map. But with Baron empowered minions and 3 players here as well as the Varus, there's realistically not much you could do. You have got to give this one away. Ornn is left into split, pushing out the mid lane with a 4-1 split across the top and mid sides. We still got about a minute until the next dragon, I believe, so neither team realistically worried about that at the moment. But you know it's going to be on the side of both teams. If OED are able to pick it up, it could be a win-con. They'll be sitting at Soul Point. And win-con might be here for PBG as they completely knock up this Skarner. Unable to escape, gets a 2-man impale. But the knockup from the Zac is going to be able to deny the pull into the turret. But they find 2. The backline poke mage is able to clean up the kills. Renekton re-engaging here. Not going to have the dominance though. He's got to be careful. And Deuce is able to clean up the kill. They're going to continue to try and push into this mid lane tier 2. It's about half HP. They've got the Baron empowered minion waves, and they've got a flanking Amumu here. Can they chunk down this turret? Bandage toss over the wall. Gets the 3-man curse with the sound money with the Fate Sealed. And they're able to clean up this Vel'Koz. Charging up the pointed arrow is not able to find the kill execution onto Seraphine just yet. Gotta be careful. Skarner's re-engaging. Gonna push this Varus into the wall, stunning him up. Going forward with the Unbound Soul. Gets stunned, actually. Gotta be a little bit careful there, Yone. But they turn their sights on to this Leona now. Shutdown, though. 1 picked up for the Skarner. Looking to grab 2. Is he going to? Yes, he will. Seraphine able to clean up the kill onto Induce. And now they're going to turn their sights towards this dragon.
Yeah, Skarner respawning there really ruined what Paperboat was trying to do. He just came back in and told Penn, hey, you got no ultimate, you got no cleanse, you got no flash. I'm just going to 1v1 you at this point. But, you know, 2 turret dives in a row.
He can still fight this. Zac's engaging. Cold Force got committed to. It's a double knockup, and we were able to find the kill. Vel'Koz putting out as much true damage as physically possible, though. Zac is forced to swing shot away, goes towards the blast cone. 4 members of OED is still alive. The dragon is falling, and I think that PBG have nothing left in the tank to contest it.
Yeah, that is twice now that we have seen Curvo and Rutledge hit the double ultimate combo and just absolutely start melting people's health bars. Like, this Vel'Koz might have been put behind in the early game, but he's got his 2 core items. This champion is going to hurt if he just gets to sit there for free and shoot his ultimate like that. I mean, it's looking a little rough now for Paperboat, pushing their advantage a little too far, too fast, trying to get everything on the map at once, and now that puts OED onto this soul point, and it is Ocean Soul. You have some heal cut. It is on the Yone, it is on Ornn, but I think even playing into this Ocean Soul with the team comp that OED has, you have Seraphine healing, the healing that they get from that, it will be rough, and they just need to clean up their game just a little bit if they want to close this game out and fight for any dragons going forward.
Yeah, fighting into a Seraphine with the Ocean Soul, never going to be a fun time, but doable. If it was a Chemtech Soul, I would say it'd be a little bit harder. Especially if this was a support Seraphine going that Moonstone Echoes build. Oh, it would essentially be GG. You're not cutting through that healing and shielding power. But it's still win cons on the table for PBG. They've got somewhat of a gold lead. I can't really. I think it's about 5K right now.
5K right now, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's sitting around 5K at the moment. So right now, still have a little bit of an advantage going into these team fights. It's going to be about how they play, who they engage on. If this Curse of the Sad Moment can find multiple members, it realistically find one of these squishies. Right now, the Vel'Koz has been going uncontested in these team fights, getting those ultimates down and doing a ton of damage has realistically been making a massive difference for OED. If you can get somebody on there, get somebody onto that mage and shut them down while in that team fight, you better believe that PBG will have those angles come out on top. Meanwhile, the Ornn forced to just retreat to the tower. Curse of the Sad Mummy did come down, I believe, only onto the Skarner, though. Chains of Corruption are going to lock up Imps, but it will not matter because it's a little juice pack that gets caught on out in the swing shot of the Zac, forcing him just to be able to retreat. Now it's OED stepping on the gas pedal. They're pushing for this Baron. It's going to be spawning here in the next 10 seconds. They want to get it on cooldown. The damage that they have, though, isn't that much when you've got this double AP mage duo doing most of the work with Renekton towards that bot side. So it's going to be a little bit slower of a take. Will we see PBG go for it? Will we see them try and contest? The Varus has spotted it out with the scatter arrow.
Yeah, both top laners are recalling here to look to TPN. This is going to be a fight for this. You want to hope that Varus lands a lot of poke here for Paperboat, and they get a good engage. We see the Ornn TP here, and this looking to start.
Fate Seal doesn't really find much of anything, and the Encore comes straight on up to charm up the Yone as the Zac goes for the engage, gets the double knock up. Right now, they're having to deal with the Skarner into the backside, though. Var's doing a chunk of damage, knock up straight up. A Call of the Force God's gonna be committed to. Maybe is able to hit this backside. Yone goes in, is trying to get the Vel'Koz, but is unable to, and Alex is gonna be the first one to fall of this fight. Amumu back into it. Dominance has already been procced out of the Crocodile, though. The Vel'Koz is channeling a recall, is going to decide to stay and commit to the fight. Varus is pushing out the mid side, and is Leona gonna look for an engage with this Zenith Blade? It's realistically not looking likely. Yone can recall back into this fight, has TP online, so but it's looking like both teams are just going to decommit to the fight.
Yeah, I mean, OED does not want to fight anymore. Amumu respawned. We got an ultimate from Amumu and Varus still up. That's still a lot of CC just from those two champions alone. OED does not want to fight that anymore. They're going to take what they got, push out lanes, take their resets, and then look to fight again at Baron once they push out their waves to get everything under their control. This game is looking way closer than I thought it was after the first, 15 minutes of this game. OED fighting tooth and nail to get back in this game, and Paperboat maybe doing some soft tactical inting to bring us to 5 games, who knows. But if they just play their style like they were in this first 15 minutes, it should have been over a little while ago. But, second Baron on the map, we got a Dragon now, so let's see which teams are going to prioritize the fight over here.
Yeah, PBG already set up in this river. They want to deny the soul point as much as possible. They know it's a win con for OED. Most of them sitting in the mid lane right now, though, so not going to have that river prio positioning that PBG have already picked on up. But on the flip side, PBG not going to have mid lane prio going into an objective fight. So it's going to be kind of a pick here. Do you lose out your mid lane tier 1, potentially even more? Or do you maintain this river position? What is more important to you And if OED are smart, they're going to make them make this decision. But no, they're going to push on into this river. Zach, we've seen you in this position one time before, and you were marked up by the Vel'Koz last time. Can you get an engage this time around? Vel'Koz trying to find the angle, and Zach gets the knock up, gets the double stun. It's a 3-man, and the Call of Forge God only able to find the Scar. Fate Seal straight onto the Vel'Koz. This could be the win con. He's able to execute him. Dominance procced in the middle of all of them, but the Curse of the Sound Money is just going to be able to stun him up, but he's able to find the kill anyway. The Crocodile Maze forced to flash away, but it's going to be able to get kicked off by the Vars anyway. Putting in the damage is Vars and Yone. Are they going to be the saviors of PBG? It's a triple kill for him. Make it a ace, a full-on ace for PBG, but can they end the game?
Yeah, Pen is a god this game. He didn't even have a cleanse for that fight and still literally fought as melee range variants, getting out as many auto attacks as he could as he was doing slight macro steps to dodge, weave, dip, dive, duck, dive, weave, whatever you want to say, in and out of that fight. Only burning flash, getting 3 kills in that fight. Amazing engage by Relics, followed up by Little Juice Pack, stopping the back line, and Induced hitting that ultimate onto Relic was the team fight winner, I'm going to say. Because if Vel'Koz just got to sit in that choke point with his ultimate, I think Paperboat was going to get shredded. What an amazing ult out of him.
Yeah, it was. They found the Vel'Koz, like I've been mentioning, and they shut them down. The huge props. I know you're talking about Pen putting in the damage, but Yone found the critical kill. If that Vel'Koz was able to just live out and just get a free ultimate off, that's a ton of true damage that, realistically, I don't see OED winning a fight through that, as they've lost the last few fights through that Vel'Koz ultimate. So, huge props to Induced on the own, finding the kill that the team needed, and shutting down that battle mage. Now the Baron is going to be online. Both these two teams looking to be able to fight for it. Amumu sitting at 3 items, a little bit tankier than he was before, and has an upgraded Landry's into the back pocket too. The Terminus and Wit's End are completed for the Vars as well. So he's sitting at a power spike that this PBG team want to press. They say Pen is feeling it 100% after that last fight, and they are absolutely daring OED to come and fight him once again. The far side altercation going to spot up that the Baron has been started, but they might be baiting it a little bit. They see that it's shot away at the Mumu. The far side's going to go down. They're trying to bait in this OED team, trying to get them to initiate first. While Induce is sitting in the mid lane bush, no vision has spotted him, is looking for a flank angle with this Fate Sealed. The Vel'Koz has TP. Where is he going to TP to? Realistically, nowhere to go aside from inside the team. Ward's going to come down to the banana bush. Don't think he wants to TP to that one though. And instead, it's just going to TP to that top side tier 1 and join up onto the team. I'm looking at the Ornn to call the engage with the Call of the Forge God. Will the Skarner commit an engage? Will the Juice Pack? They spotted Induced on the flank now. They're baiting this OED team to play into them as much as possible. But neither one of these two teams want to pull the trigger just yet. They're just desperately waiting. They know that this fight right here, right now, is essentially do or die for both of them. And the Bandage Tosh is committed straight onto the Leona. The Zenith Blade comes down onto the Leona with the Solar Flare. The stun, double stun's gonna be able to come straight on up. Knock up just to be able to get away. The Curse of the Sound Mummy's able to find 3, and Pen is doing as much damage as physically possible. Fate Sealed over the wall for the Yone to be able to re-engage into the fight. The Immortal Shield Bow is gonna be able to last long enough for him to be able to go at least 1 for 1. Flashing out is the Ornn. The Ignite taken away on him, but he's not gonna be able to find the kill. Zenith Blade straight on into the back line, trying to get the kill on the Pen, but he's not gonna be able to find it. But the Vel'Koz is able to trade at least 1 for 1. And now Leona in a little bit of a desperate disengage measure. Zach slingshots on in, able to find the kill. Pen cleaning up that one. It's going to be a 2 for 3 trade-off. Do they have the damage to be able to end? They're going to force for it. It's just Vel'Koz. It's just Seraphine. Will that be enough? Ornn is TPing back into the fight after recalling. The Yone will have TP online once that they respawn. The Demo proc is going to help demolish these turrets. Slingshot charging on up. Once they destroy this turret, you better believe he's going to pull it, and he's going straight onto the Vel'Koz. The Extendo Arm not going to be able to find the proc just yet. This could be the end. Pen is really weak though. Gets knocked out.
No.
Will fall to the Seraphine Q. It's up to Relics to just auto this Nexus to death. Has no cellular division proc. Yone's online. No, Yone's respawn. Will he TP? Will he TP? I don't know. He's yet to pull the trigger. He's not going to.
No, okay. I mean, the way Paperboat was setting up for that fight was smart because Waves were pushing out in their advantage. But then just a small misstep choosing to engage on Leona. Like I said when this champion was picked, right? Nerfed Warmogs, they nerfed the damage Leona does, but the sheer tankiness that this champion has when you press your W button is insane. She just lives for so long, you feel like you get a pick, you are the one who gets picked in the end. I mean, Penn did as much damage as he could in that fight, and it still didn't matter just because of how long that OED lineup lived, and it could have been an end angle if they cleaned up that fight and, maybe took out either Vel'Koz or Seraphine, because the wave clear those two champions have is just crazy at this point in the game. I think if you took out one of them, we could have been seeing an end screen in this one. But, Baron is still on the map, so this game is still not over, and we're still going to see so much more fighting left in this one.
For sure. Well, we got Dragon coming up once again. It'll be the third Ocean Dragon for PBG in this game. Something they definitely want to play for. They want to gun for it. And OED still fighting for that soul point, and they want to be able to clean it up. But so far, PBG have the positioning. They have the prio. They're baiting someone to come into this jungle. Redectin in toward the bot side. But Skarner's all the way in top lane. So they're realistically just going to be giving this. You're not going to be able to outsmite the Amumu. And Amumu's just going to press forward. They know that the Skarner realistically cannot contest this at all, so he's going to go forward and take a couple of resources, be a little bit of a front line with relics, just take away as much as possible from this OED team. Both teams going to be sitting on soul point now, and Deuce going forward with the unbound soul, just poking away. The Skarner does not have Warmog, so will not be healing up as to become as tanky again. But the Baron is going to be threatened by PBG once again. This time it has been started. Penn does a ton of damage, and so does Yon to this Skarner. Renekton has come to join the frontline fight though. Juice back, looking for a bandage toss over the wall, looking for some sort of engage. We've seen this before, we saw this last time, and we might see it again here. Induced wrapping around through the mid lane, has got his sights set on the Vel'Koz. Will get spotted out by the Oracle lens, though. They know that he's looking for the flank angle. Felix is charging up that recall timer. Just gonna go ahead and head over to base, has an item power spike waiting for him, and will rejoin the fight. Both these two teams are baiting up this Baron for one another, but they're so afraid of pulling the trigger. They're looking for those prime opportune engage timers. And right now, with the Zac recalling, Juice Pack forced to burn the flash there off the solar flare, but that's a crucial team fighting ultimate already gone. Skarner goes over the wall, is unable to get the stun off. But they're not going to turn on to the Skarners yet. They don't feel... I feel like they don't want to fight without Yone there. But Yone is all the way in the bot side, responding to the Renekton. And in this 4v3, OED is just going to walk forward. They feel confident. They feel empowered. The Skarner gets the two-man impale. And the Encore is going to be able to charm them straight on up. Flashing forward as Relics, trying to get the kill off onto this Vel'Koz. Doesn't realistically have the damage, though. The Renekton TPing in from the bot side is going to be matched with the TP from Induce. They come in at the same time. But Induce has been chunked to half HP. Relic's looking for another potential engage timer. We have a 4v5 right now. Penn was the one that fall during that mid lane skirmish. And that's going to be OED feeling confident as ever. Your top damage dealer is out of the game, out of the fight for the next 30 seconds. We realistically have the power to do whatever we please. Another solar flare going to come down as it's swinging for the trees right now, with the second one going wide, as well as the Zenith Blade. Relics maybe looking for another slingshot engage angle, but I would not fight without this. Varus is your best damage dealer on the Rift right now for your team. Yone a close second. If I was OED, I would have been Ben starting this Baron while it's a 4v5.
Yeah, and that whole passage of play just really started by Penn tanking the Baron and not getting able to reset, being at half health for so long, having to stay longer on the map just to try to heal up, and then Curvo just forcing his way in to make that play. They didn't even take the mid turret during that tower dive. They were just so tanky and lived for so long during that whole passage of play. They once again got the Skarner into Vel'Koz's ultimate combo, and you just saw Penn has no chance to live through that because you can't cleanse it, and if you can't cleanse it, you ain't getting out of it. So it was a great play to pick off Penn, but I think Paperboat should have created some position to let their AD carry recall there, and it could have, changed the whole course of this game. They keep posturing for this Baron, trying to bait them in. But at some point, I think if they just take it and say, are you going to fight us or not, it could just change the course of the game instead of trying to bait in and look for a perfect fight. This is Emerald get a little sloppy, get a little crazy. Who knows what's going to happen? It's the first game of the series, and teams are playing to win this. They want to go all out and make sure they play perfectly. And sometimes playing perfectly can cost you.
Definitely, for sure. And we see the posturing around the Baron once again. Maybe third time's the charm. Maybe somebody's going to get it this time. I'd love for somebody to just start whacking on it. And we get a fight breaking out. Somebody play for the flip. Ornn is matching the Renekton into the bot side, though. Renekton does not have TP, though. So Ornn has a little bit of an advantage in that. And everybody is going to be moving towards this bot side now. Maybe they want to find a pick. Both these two teams probably looking for a pick before going for this Baron. But we've got next Dragon on the board here in 40 seconds. So this is soul point for both these two teams. No matter what, we are having a full-on brawl here. And it could be the decider of this game for either of these two teams because they don't want to fight over the Baron. They're at least going to fight for this soul. And it's mid lane getting pushed out by the Yone, trying to gain that prio, but the double mages just have the wave clear. They're going to be able to push it out that much faster. Juice Pack, got to be careful. You're kind of sitting in that bush by yourself there, little guy. And meanwhile, Yone is in a little bit of a tough spot too. Goes forward with the Unbound Soul, trying to poke out onto the Vel'Koz, but gets poked out in return. Look at Relix on your minimap. Has a little bit of a flank angle, looking for a slingshot in. Will be spotted out on the wards now. Is not going to be engaged upon, though. I would have seen the Leona, I thought, would pull the trigger there. But Slingshot is going to be charging on up with this positioning. We've seen time and time again for PPG in this river. Who's going to pull the trigger first, though? It looks like we're full on engaging on the Scuttle Crab, though. Whoa, let's go. Show that Scuttle Crab that it should not be in that river. But we're still being very hesitant to start the dragon, start the team fight. And neither one of these two teams afraid of just making the first move, making a mistake. It's do or die fight scenario here. Somebody needs to get going and pull the trigger, though. They've pushed out OED from the river, and now they're starting to retreat from pushing out in the river. Juice Pack with the flank. Flash forward on the Solar Flare. Does get cleansed out. Slingshot engaged. Chains of Corruption able to find onto this Leona, though. But they've hit the backline. Encore's going to be able to charm up, I believe, just the Zac, but he's going to give his life over for it. Maze has fallen. Curse does have money. He's able to find up two, but it's a two-man impale into the Vel'Koz ultimate. It's a ton of damage, and nobody is able to do anything about it. And OED take a clean fight win, only trading out their Seraphine. They're gonna claim Soul Point 2, and they may be able to claim game number 1 off of it.
Yeah, Paperboat waited so long to look for a perfect engage once again. They had Zac on the flank unwarded. They could have just ripped it. They could have gone for it, but they waited for way too long. Their engages were marked, and OED found their angle to get it. Curvo on his Skarner once again, getting a wonderful ultimate onto 3 people to let Rutledge just rain terror from the void down onto this Paperboat lineup. I mean, I think Paperboat, once again, if they just force these engages with the go buttons that they have, these fights would be so much better. Penn would get the free fire, and Deuce would get to go crazy in the back line. You saw it there. He got right on top of that Seraphine. That Seraphine didn't live for more than like 2 seconds. But, you know, the more you wait, the more position that you're giving up to OED. They had the lanes pushing in their favor. They had the ward coverage. They had their flanks covered. So they got the engage that they wanted. And it cost them a soul and now a Baron. And now it feels like OED is in the driver's seat of this game, evening up that gold.
Yeah, I feel like PBG just too hesitant. You got these flank angles online. And in that Dragon Pit, you've had the same flank angle 3 times in a row. So OED are just going to go, hey, we're just going to mark you because you're sitting in the same spot you sat 2 times ago when we went to go fight for this dragon. So if you're going to go for these flank angles, PBG, you got to pull the trigger before you get marked. There's a perfect opportunity where they're all 5 clumped up by that mid lane bush where they pushed around the left side and forced them all into one spot of the river. Could have been a perfect engage timer there. As Skarner just going to push on in to the river. Juice Pack going forward. 3-man curse of the Sad Mummy, but the damage realistically is not there. 2-man impale into the Encore. Call the Forge God's going to be committed to. Just has a little bit of a last-ditch effort, but it gets pushed into the wall, so not able to get the second proc off. Fateseal going forward. Baby trying to find the Vel'Koz. Is not able to just yet, but is able to now. The execution comes around, and there's a Crocodile angry, waiting for him to clean up the kill onto the Yone. And this is just smelling a win for OED. They started off the game phenomenally well, and it looked like PBG was picking it up. Looked like they were going to be able to come out on top. They were pulling the game into their favor, into their strings, but OED stuck to their guns. They stuck to their win cons, and they were able to claw back from the gold deficit, from the gold lead, and they are going to take game number 1 after what looked like a phenomenal game 1 from PBG. If this is what we're going to have, I feel like we're going to go to a full 5-game series here tonight if these are the types of games we're going to have each and every single time. But OED going to advance forward with the lead, taking game 1.
Yeah, I mean, Curvo on his starter really turned that game around for his team. 8-3 and 19 at the end of the game. Flame Horizon over Little Juice Pack, 300 to 200 CS. This man got his champion and said, just lose the early game, I guess, team. It's fine. I will win us the late game. And did everything he needed to in that game, finding ultimate after ultimate after ultimate onto 2, 3, 4 people to let Rutledge just go 11 and 10 and deal the most damage in the game. Is just insane. Once late game hit, it was just all training wheels falling off for Paperboat and just not able to win in this clean fashion after the early game that they had.
Definitely not. But we are going to go ahead and throw it to a short break. When we get back, we will have draft for game number 2 ready. Don't go anywhere. We still got a lot of League of Legends.
Yeah.
Storm with a 1-0 score line at the moment. They're looking to clean up and take game number 2, take us into match point. Maybe we have a quick 3-0 here tonight, but PPG, they don't want that happening. They're so close to winning game number 1, and they feel like they're going to be wanting to come back and take game number 2, which was supposed to be game number 1, rightfully theirs.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of that game, their boat really was made out of paper, and that thing sank fast. I mean, they kind of dominated that early game. Like, I didn't think there was any chance OED was going to come back in that one, and then Curvo on that Skarner just made it work and brought his team back from the brink of death. And just, I thought Skarner was nerfed. I thought he got extinct, and apparently this champion is still as strong as he was when he got reworked. Like, Curvo made it look like nothing had changed with this champ. And I mean, I was rooting for Paperboat, I'll be honest, after that early game, but a little hesitation, a little bit of nerves maybe, who knows, got the better of him and cost him that first game that was rightfully theirs to win.
For sure. Now, I don't think that the double mage composition is going to be let through once again. Who knows? The Vel'Koz Seraphine did a number onto this PPG team as they were not able to get onto the Vel'Koz. They were not able to get onto the Seraphine and execute them in time before the damage was already pumped out and was already there. So, headed into this draft, I'm expecting to see win cons like that taken off the board for OED, but who knows? Maybe we'll see somewhat of the same from both teams.
I mean, we see the Zeri ban staying the same. I do think it is Maze's best AD carry. I really don't see him playing that tonight unless Paperboat thinks they can absolutely dominate that. And I mean, you know, we see 3 of the same bans so far. The Sejuani and Braum banned away. The Freljord champions just comboing so well together. All Freljord champions have slows because Ice, I think it's stupid, but the way the synergize together is just, it is a menace to deal with, and it's, I don't know, I'm seeing 5 out of 6 bans staying exactly the same. Curvo not getting that Urgot this game makes sense, and we see a Lux getting banned again, you know, one of Rutledge's better, you know, missile mages, long-range poke mages, whatever you want to call it, is getting put on the ban chart again, which means the Seraphine is left up to be first picked away again by OED, and I'm curious what Paperboat chooses to do to respond to it this one, if they're going to change it up, if they're going to run it back. I mean, they picked Varus again. I still agree this champion is insanely strong. No reason not to pick it. It's probably the best AD carry on the patch if you're not wanting to go a mage-centric bot lane style like that.
All right, well, Juice Pack locking in. The Zac probably going to be thrown into the bot lane for Relics once again. So far, it's looking about the same. I'm getting nervous because that Vel'Koz is still on the table. So is that Skarner. Will Rutledge decide to lock in the Vel'Koz again? I mean, if it won't broke in game number 1, I mean, I see no reason why not to lock it going into game number 2. Renekton's going to be picked on up, so that means that the Vel'Koz will be able to be banned away here. PBG able to take that one off the board at the second set of bans if they decide to go for it. But this is where Mumu comes in. So far we're 6 for 6 on what seems to be coming back in game number 2. PBG, I mean, the composition really was working for them, but they just stopped getting those engage timers. They stopped going all in. And that's realistically where OED was just like, hey, we're just going to poke you down until you pull the trigger to all in. And by then it is too little, too late. Poppy ban taken away. Definitely. Even with the Renekton and Skarner already picked, I feel like with Seraphine, you don't want to go Poppy support. But I guess if they feel as though that they're picking, they know actually that they're picking this Zac into the bot side, they can go Poppy support just for that counter. So they want to take that kind of option away from OED. And so far, we are 6 for 6 on the champions. Are we going to go 7? Okay, so far, will a change end up coming here? I think chat maybe rooting for the whole run back. I mean, somebody might be able to spoil it though. I feel like if anybody spoils it though, it's gonna be Rutledge. Oh no! It's locked in it's locked in the Vel'Koz. Oh no, you can't. Yone.
We do have the spoilage with the Yone being banned and Deuce not being able to pick that one up again. I mean, you said if the Vel'Koz ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, that Vel'Koz was broke for the first like 20 minutes of that game until it got fixed up. But we see a Galio picked up here instead of Leona. So, you know, we're getting Galio support this game. That ultimate, you know, getting to ult on top of your Skarner or Renekton when they die with the backline. And we see a Fizz picked up here for Induced into a non-mobile mage of Vel'Koz. This Fizz will have a field day. He is going to eat him up in that mid lane, playful trickster all over him. This champion is so toxic to deal with if you play against a good one. And if somebody's pulling it out in Emerald in playoffs, they gotta be good at this champ, right? I mean, it's gotta be.
These compositions, man. Every time I fill for one of these, I come in and I'm thinking like, okay, what do we got? Okay, mid lane, we've got LeBlanc on the table, Ahri all still on the table, Yasuo, great pickup. No, we're locking Fizz. No, we're going Zac support against Galio support. And every time I come down here, I get thrown for a loop, man. Every time I fill for one of these games, I'm like not expecting what I'm expecting. And I guess that's kind of the joy and the fun of playing in these. That's kind of the joy and the fun of playing in these leagues. Speaking of which, though, with these wacky picks, with drafts like this, we're going to go ahead and throw a quick shout out to Pro Comps. You know, we haven't had the shout out just yet. Once we get into the start for game number 3, we will throw up the infographic. But for right now, if we have the infographic, but for right now, just quick shout out. If you have a team or you are a solo queue player looking to level up your draft game, looking to pick up those meta champions and learn how to play against specific picks, learn how to play, like for example, learn how you should be playing this Vel'Koz into Fizz in your solo queue games or even in your competitive games, Pro Comps can act like that virtual assistant coach for you and break down how the game should be played and where and what champions are within the meta. So go ahead and check out Pro Comps.
Yeah, I mean, we do see some slight changes up here. You know, we have the Zac taking Exhaust this game, no Ignite from either support this game. We have 1 TP for the side of Paper Boat because you have a Fizz mid. He wants all the kill pressure he can get. He's level 2. He could probably solo kill Vel'Koz right now if he wanted to with, like, EQ, Ignite, combo, or something or other. But, you know, playing the map is going to be a lot harder for Paper Boat this game with only having that singular TP, while OED has 3. They can make more cross-map plays and be on top of you, so Fizz getting Prio is going to be a big thing this game, being able to roam, so we'll see how that works out. And, you know, this Galio pick is actually very big brain, because what does Fizz do into a Galio if he taunts you? He's just going to CC combo you, and you're just not going to get to play your champ, and probably just get burst down, but already seeing gank mid.
Where have we seen this before? Oh boy, I don't know. Grove comes around the corner though, is playing a little bit of a peel game, but oh no, first blood given on over to the Fizz. This time it wasn't Rutledge falling, it was Kira falling, and they're gonna continue to massacre this Vel'Koz.
I mean, we saw the same play try to happen early game last time, but last time QERW on that Leona was in that mid lane to make it a 3v2, and 2 flashes had to be burned by the side of Paper Boat. But this time, they only need 1 to be able to take down their first blood, and it goes on to the one champion you don't want it to on the side of OED. Rutledge is not happy that Fizz got that first blood. This champion is going to be online way faster now thanks to that. And it's just going to be hell for Vel'Koz in this mid lane. And we already see, you know, Amumu hovering that bottom side of mid lane once again, maybe looking for something, but Induce we see on the minimap hitting that recall button. LJP just looking for some chickens to pick up, maybe a Skarner to eat. Who knows what he's looking for in this red side jungle.
He's looking for some friends, man. He's a Mumu. He's trying to find some friends. He's cursed to forever have a lonely life, much like me in League of Legends. I have no friends. Add me on League of Legends so we can play. Anyway, so as we move on in, Directed Cam being a lovely top side, you know, it's a top side enjoyer. Vino and Terpez going back and forth at it. Don't underestimate the Zorn damage. Definitely can win out in this trade-off. But yeah, kill already given on over to Induce, picking up that Hextech alternator, only able to respond Rutledge so far with that amplification tome. So ain't really is gonna be a little bit scared, you know, to go up against this Fizz, but Fizz is definitely a champion. You can force the E. I feel like you could do that very easily, especially with having a Seraphine ult, with having that Galio taunt. 2 things that could definitely force E out of this Fizz. And once he uses E, he's essentially immobile and can be bursted down. That's a win con that OED are going to have to play for. But they also are going to have to play to kind of tone things down, defend this mid lane, keep Juicepack from coming on in and getting that gank timer rotation after rotation. Because if Fizz can pick up more and more kills, that backline, that 1 HP squishy backline is going to be very scared going into the later half of the fights.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. The more the Fizz gets ahead, the worse it is for Maze and for Rutledge. And you're praying that this Galio can peel you and he's not using his ultimate to dive said Varus in the backline with his Renekton or Skarner. But, you know, we see the same thing we see last game. Renekton just getting a nice early 10 CS lead, getting an early cheetah recall, TPing back, applying pressure. But Orange just gets to sit in lane and build a Bramble Vest for free. Literally just built it in front of his face. And there's nothing Terps can do about it. So Orange has, quote-unquote, essentially countered Renekton by building that. But I don't know if you saw that top lane trade before. Oh, wait, we see you play mid.
Yup, Kirov comes over the wall, gets the stun up onto Induced, eats a rock toss, and here comes QWER. And I said that in the opposite order, but it does not matter because Rutledge is able to find the pick on off. And they're going to push this on straight into this first dragon. They've responded to the mid lane plays. They shut down the Fizz and return have gotten a kill onto their Vel'Koz. But PPG don't want to give this over without a fight. Pen is going to be a little bit late to the fight here. Induced, no TP like we mentioned, realistically isn't going to be there at all. This one has to be given over to OED. Flashing forward though, knock up into the Vel'Koz, ultimate taunt comes down, Juicepack is in trouble, misses the bandage, tosses, Pen has to flash over the wall in response to the Exhaust coming down. Relics gets slowed on up, tries the slingshot out, the poke damage, it's so much. Can they finish off the kill though? The blast cone? No, they're not able to proc the cellular division. He's able to get out in time.
Yeah, I don't know why Paperboat decided to contest that one. They're just behind on tempo there. You have no TP on your Fizz. You just got to back out of that one. Pen is lucky to be counting his days with how many hands he had left, with how much HP he lost with the CC combo from Galio and from Skarner. And it's just going to instantly transition into probably a Grubs play here. We already see, you know, QERW sticking up in this top side. Renekton gets a reset. You know, they don't have the quote-unquote prio for it, but, you know, Mumu off that reset really has nothing. Orin hasn't just sit in top lane, hasn't recalled yet, needs to recall now. So it's just double free objectives off killing Induced one time in that mid lane. And that's like the big flaw of not taking teleport. You're just so behind on tempo if you get picked up before an objective like that.
And big props to QERW coming up big on this Galio, is able to roam to the Void Grubs, able to claim up that objective before recalling and making their way back down to the bot side. Relics knows that the enemy support was there, but he's looking for a mid-side gank, looking to continue to punish Rutledge like he was able to do last game. Rutledge, though, probably learned from his mistakes. I mean, given the fact that he's not already 0-3 in the first 8 minutes, I'm assuming that he's going to be expectant of these ganks, of these flanks coming on into the mid lane, and is going to be watching out for them. So that's going to open up these angles for QERW on this Galio. I love the pickup here. It's having phenomenal impact right out the gate, and I'm excited to see what more we can see come out of it.
Yeah, see, I'm really shocked here that Juice Pack on the Amumu is still going to be rushing Leandri's first item. They have AP damage out of Fizz, so I was expecting him to, like, go something tankier as a first item and maybe build it later, but I guess he's really prioritizing that early burst damage that you get once you hit level 6 off of just having one AP item. So let's see if it works out for him again like it did in Game 1, but already more behind in this game than he was at the start of that first game, just off of the two momentum plays, off of just one gank in that mid lane. And I mean, if you saw in that mid lane play, Deuce did buffer the Galio taunt really well, because you still are slightly in like invulnerable / immune when you land in your E for like a half a second.
What's happening, bot? I believe. Oh, Kurov comes with the gang angle. This is out of disrespect to Relics in these roam timers. The Zac has not been there for a good 2 minutes so far, and Kirov just goes, I'm in a rundown. My Seraphine's past level 6. We could easily CC chain Pen and clean him up and get a kill. Give it on over to the Seraphine too. These battle mages coming up big. Induce drops to a quarter of HP off the back of the Vel'Koz ultimate. QERW was there for the peel and the engage as well. Maybe they're going to go for the full-on tower dive. Who knows? His ultimate comes down onto the Vel'Koz. Flash forward, Juice Pack is able to get the curse of the Sad Mummy, and Induce is able to clean up the kill. It's looking to go 1-for-1. QERW doesn't realistically have the damage though. Ignite ticking away at this Galio. In comes Kurov from downtown, pushes Induce into the tower, and he has the E. He doesn't get the kill, and Pen finds the counter kill into the bot side onto Maze, getting a little bit revenge.
Doesn't Deuce get executed here? He's got to do it fast because Rutledge is hunted for that kill. Oh no, he's not gonna get executed.
No,
okay, Induced is happy with that. He probably should have gone to the inner turret instead of going for the inhibitor turret. I think honestly he could have pressed that recall button because we saw on the minimap Kurov was not hunted for, but Trumps gets the solo bolo in the top lane against Vino. The power of this Renekton burning both flashes burned by top laners, but Renekton is such a strong lane bully in this early game, and he's choosing to rush a Black Cleaver, it looks like, this game over the Bork that he did last game, which is, I think, a smarter choice. Yes, Bork is probably the strongest AD item in the game right now. This is my complaint to Riot Games. Please nerf that. Stop nerfing support items. For the love of God, I don't want to be a Locket bot. Please don't nerf Zeke's ever, please. But,
I don't feel like Zeke's is that much of a problem, though.
Yeah, but
I feel like Zeke's is okay. Like, you know, like you build it on Sejuani, you build it on Leona. Like, you know, it's fine. It's not broken.
Stop nerfing my support items, please. But I think the Black Cleaver is really good into the Ornn matchup, just because he's gonna be innately stacking armor, just because of how well it works with Ornn's E. So it's just gonna be able to help him shred more. Yes, you get less healing from not building the Bork first item, but I think reducing the armor with the Black Cleaver actually gives you more 1v1 solo kill potential against the Ornn instead of going that Bork.
Alrighty, well, second Dragon's going to be picked up for OED. They're going to continue this early scaling, this early stacking, and the Void Grubs are going to have to be a settlement trade-off for the side of PBG. But honestly, if you're OED, you're okay with that. It's just 3 Void Grubs. They're not going to be able to get 4. So you're going to be even on terms of objectives for the Voidlings, but it's still going to put you ahead on objectives because you have these 2 dragons. And you technically have 3 winning lanes at the moment as well. So OED, they're feeling confident, they're feeling comfortable in the state of the game they are right now. I'm hoping that they're riding the momentum of a win from last map, and they learn because we have almost the same kind of composition, aside from the support, aside from the mid lane on PPG. I'm hoping that they learn from last game to be able to come out and fix those mistakes and take this early lead that they picked up last game and snowball it into the later half of the game.
Yeah, they don't want to pull a paper boat from the first game. They want to take this one all the way to the finish line. And paper boat looking to play the OED style and steal it right out from underneath them. I mean, right now we're just going to see a lot of setup and priority in lanes. You know, nothing really on the map for another 3 minutes. Nobody's going to be fighting soon. I mean, Rift Herald spawns before that. Who knows, like, the priority on that for these teams. I think Rift Herald, with all the nerfs, is just not as strong unless you're absolutely banking to break first tower with it. If your team already gets first tower before it, there's no reason for you to fight over it anymore. You can just give it up to the enemy team unless you're looking for pure momentum. And Trups is just up here trying to bully Vino. The healing on that champion, even with the grievous wounds, is still just insane.
For sure. Meanwhile, we have a little bit of an action coming down to the bot side. Rutledge going for a gank angle onto Pen. Can he win the Q? No, unfortunately not going to be able to, but the cellular division is going to be procced up onto this Zach. Juiceback coming in, maybe playing the peel angle, but is unfortunately not going to be able to save the enemy support. The Valkyrie ultimates come down and straight into the impale, and Karaf's just going to sit there and hold him as a target dummy for Rutledge to beam him down.
Play out of OED to get that gank going in the bot lane. Once again, I guess Paperboat hasn't learned what the Skarner Vel'Koz combo does. You hit one impale into a life form disintegration ray, and your life form will be disintegrated by this Vel'Koz. Already off to a way better start than it was last game. He's already on a first item. I don't even think he had like 2 components at this point in the game last time.
Definitely not. But that Blackfire Torch being completed, going into the Faded Ashes, is going to be a ton of burn damage coming up. I believe is looking to build into that Leandry's next, so it's gonna start hurting even more this Vel'Koz. But Fizz has finished the Lich Bane. That's an item that's gonna be crucial coming into these fights. It's gonna have that extra move speed, help run down these targets' maze. Gotta be a little bit careful. Has no mana and is susceptible to a turret dive if they decide to go for it, but no, the Amumu's gonna back off. They're not gonna call for it. And actually, no, they might be calling for it. It's gonna be spotted out by the Galio now. They know that Amumu's on this bot side. Skarner has a free angle to start up this Rift Herald. It might not be as powerful, but what you can get out of it might as well be they could push this into the mid lane. They could force Induce Tower down. That's going to open up the game, these angles to take these dragons even more. Open up angles for the first Baron. So that's all that this Rift Herald can do. Are they going to drop it topside though? Straight onto the Ornn? Yeah,
like
no, they're going topside. They're going under the turret, onto the Ornn, and Terps is able to clean up the kill. The tower will fall realistically shortly after. Somebody's got to push up. Somebody's got to respond, or they're going to lose it.
You run it backwards.
Terps, you are not... Okay, somebody take his license away. He's obviously drunk driving, officer. This is my proof right here, right now.
This
Terps
is all team top laner right here.
Yeah, Terps is not qualified to operate heavy machinery. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no, they're going on Juice Pack now. It's more action in the top lane. He's flashing, but he ain't getting away. Life Form Disintegration Ray takes him down.
Oh my, OED, they are riding a momentum wave. The plays are phenomenal coming out of them in game number 2. They're sitting on a 5k, just about gold lead here shortly, and they want to continue to snowball it. Maze spots out Induce, realistically can't run away from the tower though. Has the Encore online, so that's going to be a little bit of an option. Maybe looking to hit Pen with it, little as about half HP, so would be trying to at least trade a life out there onto the support. QERW is going to be able to come on in, peeling for this AP carry. We got Dragon in 15 seconds, and I'm looking that little Juiceback is going to be late to the fight. He's on his way now, running as fast as possible, taking the Hextech Gate, going as fast as that little Moo can. His friends, or wannabe friends, are waiting for him into the river as the Dragon has been spawned up. It's going to be started immediately out of OED. I like this. They're not hesitating. They are committing. They are starting things. This is exactly what I wanted to see last game. They are initiating. It's phenomenal. It's amazing. I am very happy. They're going to go and clean up, take Soul Point in game number 2.
Yeah, I mean, the momentum that OED is on, they just look like they haven't taken their foot off the gas after that first game. Just the momentum play from Dragon to Grubs at the start of the game, and then taking Herald, diving top, taking the turret with Herald, maybe drunk driving just a little bit, getting a little hypey, driving it back into a broken turret already. And then Maze just playing the Seraphine bot, not getting dove whatsoever, and Terps is getting tower dive, but he gets the stun onto Relics.
Oh, he goes 1-for-1! Heroic entrance is going to be able to end the knockup strain onto the Ornn, going for the Valky's ultimate is disintegrating the Ornn. He picks up the kill. Pen is the last one standing, but there's an angry Crocodile trying to run you down. You get at least the trade-off 1-for-1. The Crocodile doesn't even get the kill. Rutledge is able to find that one and takes it away from the I'm forgetting my words. Takes it away from the top side carry, and oh boy, it's all falling apart for PBG.
Yeah, Riot Games, it's that champion. Nerf that Crocodile in the top lane. This is the power of the champion. Not even going Bork, he's just going full bruiser this game. Black Cleaver into Sterix. Who's gonna actually kill him? Like, this champion is getting blind picked everywhere, left and right, just because of the pure innate laning power he has and the mid-game carry potential he has. Who cares if he falls off late game if the team's gonna win the game in 25 minutes? I mean, it's looking like Paperboat is going to need an actual answer against this Renekton, whether it's a ban or a different pick into the Ornn, because Terps is running away with this game by himself, and Rutledge right behind him.
Yup. And not really able to find these angles. Took him a little bit longer this game to get online than it was last game. So it's going to be different. It's going to be difficult for the Vars to find these angles. Not with an angry Crocodile running you down. Kirov has been phenomenal with these impales on the Skarner too. And Rutledge has yet to be contested. The disintegration beams rays have been phenomenal. They have been full damage out. Nobody's been able to dive on top of him and stop him from getting these ultimates off. It's a win con for OED, and they're playing to it phenomenally. Here's another one. Chains of Corruption does get rooted up. The Charm's going to come straight down onto Relics. It goes in for the engage straight on to that Valky's. Little Juice back trying to clean it on up too. Gets the Curse of the Sad Mummy down, but is in disengage mode. A knockup comes down. They did not clean up Pen, but they were able to find two at minimum. Induced engaging with the fish, but is trying to find Maze. Flashes out, gets stunned up, and ends up falling. It's a triple kill for Maze on the AP carry Seraphine.
I think this could just be Baron right here at 20 minutes on spawn again. I mean, Maze is going much more of a supportive build this time. He went Seraph's first item. Nobody's going to be able to burst him like that. I don't know why Induced even tried to. And he has the Heliod. I don't even remember what that item was called. I haven't seen her forever.
It's Echoes of Helia.
Yeah, whatever. Athene's Unholy Grail is what I like to call it, because that's what it basically is. But he's just so much more supportive of this game than he was last game. So if they wanted to, they could have ripped the Baron. If they decide not to, they take the tier 1 outer in mid lane, and they're just going to reset and keep the momentum going in their favor.
For sure, they're sitting at a 7k gold lead right now, about a minute and a half before the next dragon. It's Soul Point. They're going to be looking to claim this Hextech Soul. It's not an Infernal Soul. It is a Hextech Soul, I'm pretty sure. That they are looking to claim OED. And that could be the game tied up in a bow for them. Right now, they're trying to run down Terps. Has a 450 gold bounty. Has the flash on over the wall. The fish. It does connect. The Chains of Corruption come down too. They're committing everything physically possible. A heroic entrance. Their Steric Shield. It's going to be enough to flank out of Mace. The Encore is going to be able to find Pens. And QERW is going to engage onto the 80 carry as well. They're looking to shut him down. Maze goes unstoppable with that TP. With that play, might as well be unstoppable in this series. And they're going to turn their sights on over to this Baron. Kirov tanking it up as much as possible. The Juice Pack is sitting around the corner. Maybe is looking for an engage. QERW is going to go try and mark this jungler. Try and force them away. Rutledge is going to be a little bit late to the fight, but will be coming on in. Juice Pack takes the Hextech Gate. Wants to get the Bandage Toss over the wall. Wants to be able to get on into this. Can he steal it? It's quite possible. Bandage Toss onto Rutledge. Curse of the Sad Mummies for the damage. And is going forward onto the Juice Pack and leaving the team to commit the damage to the Baron. The Impale. Rutledge goes on a rampage, cleaning up the kill onto the Sad Mummy. And they're going to finally solidify this Baron. Maybe even solidify this game.
Yeah, I think Paperboat's going to need to go back to the drawing board on this one. The Fizz not working out. No answer for the Renekton in this game. This champion, we saw how long this champion just lived in that top lane fight that led to the Baron. This is just insane. And Maze on the Seraphine going full support of this game. I don't see a way Paperboat gets through this gold that they're down through the health bars here. We see them trying to go for Terps again, but I think the
Chains of Corruption. They go completely wide. Dominance gets procced. He's trying to build up that rage meter. Relix has got to be careful. He's already down half HP. The disintegration beam comes in. Induced has a great engage timer. Rutledge needs the peel from Kirov. Trying to get the kill. So far, it's 1-for-1. QRW finding the kill onto Pen. Kirov is starting to run down Induced on the Fizz. The E has been procced. He's retreating into the tower, though. Flash forward out of Kirov. Does not get executed by the turret just yet. Induced is just trying to buy as much time as possible. Will eventually get suppressed and run down, but the dragon is online, and Terps goes dominating, looking to run down a little juice pack too. The slice and dice comes out as a double kill for the Crocodile. They're gonna clean up Soul. They're gonna get that Hextech Soul 2 off the back of a 4-for-1 trade-off. You finally killed the Vel'Koz, but it's too little, too late.
Yeah, and that whole passageway started off with them trying to kill Terps once again, and it just turns against them so poorly. Even with no TPs, OED was expecting them to go for something. With the Soul already coming up, they were already rotating there, and then just being there to counteract that play just cost so much for Paperboat. At this point, I think you got to just try to save mental. Just think about what you could do next game. Maybe there's passages back into this game, but at this point, it's kind of all up to chalk, and you should just be focusing maybe on Game 3, which is going to be your finals life. You have to reverse sweep at this point if you can't come back in this one. And I think they have a lot of stuff in this draft that they need to answer and figure out fast.
We're sitting at an 11k gold lead. I've seen comebacks from worse deficits before. Heroic entrance coming to the bot side. It's saving Terps once again. Double kill for the Crocodile. They're trying their hardest to kill him. The disintegration beam on the Pen gets the cleanse off, but it's not going to realistically matter. Triple kill for the Crocodile. Can they feed him the pentakill? Are they going to be able to? No, Karov able to steal one. So unfortunately, not going to get the we're calling it a pentakill. It would have been a quadra, but you know, all 5 players would have been it, so we would have given it to him here on the broadcast. But OED in dominant fashion, there's no other realistically word to say, they just came out and stomped game number 2 into the dirt with after saying, PBG, we learned from game number 1. We are gonna draft the same comp and show you that we should have easily beat you. And we do in game number 2.
Yeah, that was a 25-minute slaughter fest. I think at the end of that game, Trips literally like went 1v3 under the turret even before Galio ulted him. That Crocodile was not turning into boots that game. He was on the hunt. He wasn't waiting for nobody. He was on the prowl, and he showed us why he is the first team all-pro top laner. Just absolutely putting the work to the Paperboat lineup. I mean, Paperboat tried to go for the run back. The Yone seemed to be like it was that key essential piece, and it just not working out this game. They got a lot to figure out. Maybe they'll swap sides, go to the blue side, take away the Seraphine. Who knows what their game plan is, but they got a lot to think about in this time in between games.
Yep, the run back goes 2-0 for OED. They say we beat you with it once. We're gonna beat it with you again. We dare you to try it again in game number 3. But who knows what we'll see. We'll be coming right back to you after a short break with the draft. So don't go anywhere. We're at match point. Alright, welcome. We're about to cook up game number 3's draft. We're sitting here at match point. OED looking to take the entire thing 3-0. And those of you at home might be rooting for them, might be rooting for PBG to come up with the reverse sweep. If you are, you better pray for my voice box because we'll be here until 1 a.m. So if that they do take us all the way to a game number 5. But so far we've had a banger of a series. We had the salty run back game at number 2, essentially just a couple of just one champion on each side being a little bit different, but OED didn't care, didn't matter to them. They came out and decimated game number 2, proving that they should have done that in game number 1. PPG had some great clapbacks in game number 1. Will they be able to have those kind of results in game number 2, though? Their backs are against the wall. It's do or die. You gotta make it happen. You gotta make it happen now.
Yeah, I mean, in this draft, there's a few questions to answer. Is Seraphine going to make it through? What's the answer to Renekton if it's let through? Is Kurov going to get Skarner again? Who knows? Like, I mean, so much can change in this draft. Like, what is Paperboat Gaming going to do? Paperboat Gang, I believe. What are they going to do? Yeah, I'm curious what they're going to do to push this any farther than just 3 games. I mean, they looked real good in game 1 at the start of that game. Shaky end to the game caused them to lose it. Game 2, it seemed like the lights are off and no one was home. So I'm hoping they change something up, come back here and give us, hopefully more than 3 games. I know you don't want to, Cilantro, but I think everybody at home wants to see more than 3 games tonight after how game 1 looked, and we'll see what gets changed up in this draft here.
Nah, I'm 100% rooting for the full 3-game series. Full 3 series. I always love it when a team goes the distance. Whoever wins map number 1 goes on to win the entire series. I always love it when that happens. So, we will see what we have here with the pick and ban. So far, it's looking kind of the same. Maze not going to be able to lock up that Zeri, as we know. Sejuani Braum taken off the table as well. So far, everything is about the same. Okay. So far, everything is about the same on each side. Urgot taken away, Vex taken away. Nothing realistically is going to be left on the table. But I'm gonna be looking at this B1 pick. It's gonna make a big difference. Seraphine finally banned away from Maze. But do we B1 Vel'Koz? Maybe? Do you take away one mage, you go for the other?
I mean, who knows what the B1 is? It's probably just going to be Skarner. There it is. I can predict the future, apparently. I mean, it was either Skarner or Renekton. Maybe Paperboat chose to leave the Renekton up to pick it here for Vino. I mean, Vino does play the carries. I've seen him play Vladimir. I've seen him play Singed before, but they're going to go for Jhin this game. No more Varus. They're going with a utility CC type of 80 carry, long range, like follow-up with this Jhin. I think Jhin is in a really good spot right now, and we're going to see another Amumu pickup, and I know we've seen it twice now. I'm going to go 3rd time. It's most likely going to be going a little juice back here. I know we see Relics flex the Zac before. Who knows if they're going to do that again, and we see a Kai'Sa.
Okay, Jhin Amumu, interesting pickup. Juice Pack been running it back on that champion. Maybe Relics wants to opt for it into the support lane. Who knows? But Renekton's going to be picked up again. Okay, we have a little bit of a run back. What are you going to pick in response to this PPG? Ornn is not working. Ornn has not been working.
It's just Ornn.
Do we go Camille?
Oh.
Cho'Gath. Okay, I feel like this is another... Okay.
It's Ornn, but with an execute, I guess?
It's another... I sit in lane as long as Renekton doesn't kill me. It's fine, everything's fine, but Terps is just gonna go, nah, I'm winning this, runs in and kills you anyway, and then now we have a fed Renekton, and what are you gonna do about it?
I mean, who knows? I mean, we're gonna see the Yone band again away from Induce, and we see Rutledge not getting the Vel'Koz this time. I mean, he still has a few more, like, long-range poke kind of champions he can pick. You know, it's still up, Xerath is still up. I was gonna say Ezreal. Ezreal banned away here, not letting Induce get his hands on an AD long-range, like, damage dealer, or, like, the Yone that he was doing so well on. And we see little Juice Pack lock in his Viego. That means this Amumu is going support. This dude's Viego has terrorized me personally for a long time. I lost to it in playoffs. I played against it before when we were in another league together. This dude's Viego is clean, and he's going to get it when their backs are against the wall this game, but that just leaves Leona up for QERW to pick up here once again.
Uh-huh. All right. Oh, Ziggs rounding out the middle lane. What are PBG going to lock on into this? Ziggs is a phenomenal champion going up against this heavy 5v5. Okay, Syndra going to be rounding it out, going poke for poke right now. But Ziggs with those Mega Inferno Bombs having that burst damage up against a team comp with Amumu, with Viego, with Cho'Gath that kind of want to fight on top of each other. That's a ton of damage that can come raining down on top of you once with this Ziggs when he has ultimate, when he has full CDs. But OED sitting at match point. They got the Skarner. They got the Renekton. Kaisa Leona, very strong bot side pickup. Is it enough? Is it, you've got to still have a battle against you. One more map sitting there before you claim your championship title. Have PBG drafted something to take us to a game number 4? Or is this it? Have OED, with the bans coming out, Vel'Koz not on, Seraphine not on the table, is this what they have in plan to clean up and come and dominate game number 3 like we saw game number 2?
I mean, I am a fan of this paper boat draft, just in the concept of they have a lot of points for execute, like with the Syndra ultimate. They also have Jhin and the Cho'Gath execute for the Viego to get resets in this team fight, and Viego can run amok if he just starts getting ahead and gets the resets in those team fights. But I mean, we've seen this combo before from OED, the Renekton, the Skarner, the Leona, now just with a different long-range poke, AP, annoying champion. I mean, it doesn't do as much, like, quick burst-esque damage that a Vel'Koz does, but Ziggs does pack a lot of damage if you get hit with those Qs into an ultimate. And then Kaisa, just, I think loving the team comp that's drafted with her. Kaisa loves dive buddies, and she's got 3 of them with her. So if they can get on the back line and blow up the immobile carry again in Syndra like they were doing last game, I think it's really hard for them to play. I think both teams getting what they wanted in this draft, and it's just gonna be rough for them.
For sure, but as we get out onto the Rift, it's match point. And Relics locking in that Amumu support. They want to put the Zac to bed right now. It's not been working out this time around. Are we going to see the same kind of game plan coming out of PBG, though? Do they continuously abuse the mid lane? Do they try and put Rutledge in the dirt? It didn't realistically work in game number 2. Are they going back to the same game plan for game number 3? Is it going to work this time? On a champion like Ziggs, is a lot more